Prime Minister's speech there at the newly inaugurated Seva Teerth, sending across a message about how every single official present there, including himself, is there to serve, not to rule, highlighting again that it's all about Kartavya to the people of this country, but also loaded with a whole lot of political attacks, saying for the longest time there wasn't even a memorial to go ahead and honor our braves. We changed that around. He's also spoken about how since 2014 every attempt has been made to get rid of the slavery mindset. The Prime Minister also highlighting the need to get rid of, in fact, the colonial hangover, as he calls it. And this is the clear message behind why also you're seeing the steps being taken of moving from the north and south block. I'll bring in Gaurav Sawant to decode some of the big highlights of, in fact, the speech by the Prime Minister. Big messaging there, Gaurav, from the Prime Minister, that it's time for us to shed that colonial mindset, saying that is the intent behind ensuring that these offices are revamped, that we shift now from a north block, south block to a Seva Teerth.
Seva Paramo Dharma. That's the message that Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave to government officials today when they serve, when they come to office every day. Their effort must be to ensure that their work is for the benefit of the 140 crore citizens of this country. That was Prime Minister Narendra Modi's message, and he spoke extensively about how the need of the hour was to move away from that Macaulay mindset, or from that mindset that these buildings were built by the British to rule India and Indians. His effort constantly was to move very systematically away from it. And he gave multiple examples how Rajpath became Kartavya Path. And the old buildings are not being taken down. For example, the old Parliament building, when a new Parliament building has come up, the old Parliament building remains Samvidhan Sadan. North Block and South Block will remain museums, and government work will happen from the Kartavya Bhavan building 1 and 2, and his own office will be called the Seva Teerth. And he explained why, following the example, the civilizational ethos of this land, it is Seva Paramo Dharma, that the biggest service or work that you can do is to serve others. He also spoke of the message that's actually written outside Seva Teerth. It's Nagrik Devo Bhava, moving or taking a leaf out of Acharya Devo Bhav, Matra Devo Bhav, Pitra Devo Bhav, which is the civilizational ethos of this land, that you treat your parents, your elders, your teachers, your guests as God. Similarly, for government, you treat your citizens as God. How much of this will actually happen on ground? Well, the Prime Minister gave examples of 25 crore people being brought out of poverty, of India moving towards that golden era, Viksit Bharat 2047. He said this is the time that that foundation has to be laid.
And that's exactly, how he envisioned this entire move, Gaurav, speaking about his Mission 2047, which he's constantly spoken of, even in this case, saying that this is something that's a part of our Viksit Bharat vision. I'll bring in Aishwarya Paliwal, who's joining us live from Vijay Chowk, essentially meters away from the new Seva Teerth building that's now been inaugurated by the Prime Minister. And a very important message, Aishwarya, that the Prime Minister sent out. Yes, he's spoken about, getting rid of that colonial legacy, that hangover, but also a very important message to these government servants, saying we are here to serve, we're not here to rule.
Well, let me tell you, Akshita, this has been the focus point and the focal point of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ever since he's come to power as the Prime Minister in 2014. He's been clearly telling all the people, he's been telling the ministers, he's been telling the MPs in not one but many meetings. He's told them that you are here to serve the people, do not ever think that you are here to rule, and that's the reason. He gave a very important example, and that example is true. Akshita, if you can see behind me, the North Block, the South Block actually has been built on a hill, which is true, which means that, the height of these buildings is much more than the other buildings around. Seva Teerth In Seva Teerth, that is not the case, which means that you are equal. You are here to serve the people. Seva Teerth. Seva is doing your work for others, and Teerth in Hindi actually refers to a holy place. So this is a place which is a holy place. You need to treat it like that, and you need to be very, very sure that you need to work for the people. There has to be equality, and you also need to be very careful that all the colonial baggage that we have had over the past so many years, over the past 75 years, that now you need to shed, you need to look forward, and you need to remember the history. You need to remember the culture. That's the reason why we will see, both these buildings, they are huge from inside. All of them being made into a museum, the world's largest museum, so that we preserve our culture, we preserve our heritage, but also making sure that we look forward, we march forward. The forward path is to make India a developed nation by 2047.
And we move forward with the times. A lot of this infrastructure, yes, held a lot of symbolism, but also was aging infrastructure. So we're moving with the times, and that's the other message the Prime Minister has put forth. Thanks very much, Aishwarya and Gaurav, for getting us those highlights.